see what to expect for this week crypto market outlook. So as you know that today is the big day for the Federal Reserve to cut the interest rate for the very first time for this year. Most likely will be 0.25 basis point. Okay. And of course, what do we expect after the rate cut? Because right now you can see market is pricing in before the rate cut, right? So I think there is a 95% chance that the Federal Reserve will cut interest rate at a minimum of 25 basis point, BPS. Okay. So again, what are the indications to look at? Okay. And yeah, we look at this, right? If the Federal Reserve were to cut at 25, how does the market respond? Okay, because everyone is already expected at 25. But if the market were to expect a 50 basis point cut, should we see a rally, a monstrous rally towards the upside? Okay, for crypto and of course the stock market as well. Okay, so these are the key takeaway here. So 25 basis point cut, which is the baseline. Okay, yet Bitcoin past reactions suggest sell the news risk, making traders cautious about assuming bullish momentum. So again, nothing much to expect if it's a 25 basis point. But looking at 50 basis point, okay, we are seeing here a lot of liquidity will be coming in for the crypto market. Okay, and then we look at altcoins also will go up. And of course, looking at the current market cycle, well, definitely we will be very, very bullish. Right, breaking the reoccurring sell the news cycle for crypto market. So that's where market tends to go up. I think the last cut was 0.5, the first ever cut, I think, before the election. So Jerome Powell did a 0.5 basis point cut and the market rallied. Okay. Now, zero cut loss, a zero cut basis point, should we see or should we expect another maintaining of rates for later on? Then maybe most likely there will be a sell-off, okay? Because the market does not like uncertainty. Because already mentioned that there is a high chance to cut interest rate. So if Jerome Powell were to maintain again, no rate cut, then that's why you see a huge sell-off for the crypto. So very important is to how to prepare for this rate cut. Okay, are you in position or are you still sitting on the sideline? Or do you have enough exposure in the market? Okay, so yeah, these are the key takeaway. 25 basis point, already expect nothing much, because everyone is already expected, okay, for a 25 basis point. So market will not move much, most likely will be stagnant, ranging. Okay, as you can see right now, the crypto market also is heading down for the rate cut, right? Already expect. So market is trying to price in first before the rally or after the Jerome Powell speech. Okay, yeah, I think this is the expectation for a 0.25. Okay, so yeah, you can see meanwhile Bitcoin's history with rate cuts show that excitement often gives way to steep sell-off, right? So these are the expectations. So usually after the rate cut, there could be a sell the news event. Most likely price might go down after Jerome Powell's speech. Okay, even if it cuts the interest rate, because when something is bullish, that's where market tends to do the opposite. Okay, unless maybe if it's a 0.5 basis point cut, then probably market might shoot up. Okay, so yeah, I think these are the key takeaway. So you can see on last year itself, last time the Federal Reserve cut rates was December 18 last year, right? Bitcoin was at 106 and down 30% within weeks. So these are the things you have to take note. High expectation for a sell-off. Okay, so yeah, we can see here, there are a few scenarios here. Scenario 1, Bitcoin might dump towards 104K before reversal, or scenario 2, Bitcoin will dump towards 92,000, okay, which has a CME gap before reversal. So these are all the possibility of a payout here. So a chance around 104 or lowest at 92 before we see another rally again. So yeah, I think most likely September we might see a breather until end of this month. Okay, so you're going to prepare some dry powder if you are planning to buy. You are planning to buy the dip, make sure do it after the FOMC. Or if not, then dollar cost average on a weekly basis. So this is a thing that you have to take note for the rate cut, what to expect. Now here, 50 basis point surprise. Okay, if that were to happen, I think most likely, maybe there's only 5% chance. Okay, 5% chance that this thing was going to happen. Okay, so what you can see here, standard chart says the Fed is going to cut about 50 basis points this week. Why? It's because of weak jobs report. Okay, and then meanwhile, according to 𝗀𝗁𝗁𝗀𝘀, there is only a 9% chance they will cut interest rate over 25 basis points. So we're going to see later on. Okay, but nonetheless, I don't expect more than 0.5 or 50 basis point. Okay, but again, like I said, anything can happen in the market. So you have to prepare on both scenarios. Okay, but I don't think the Federal Reserve will maintain the interest rate anymore. They will most likely were to cut today at least 0.25. Okay, so 1% chance of a rate hike, which is from JP Morgan. Okay, this would confirm the Federal Reserve was never actually independent, but is driven by whoever occupies the White House, right? So it's all about the political move. Then a 7.5% chance of a 50 basis point cut, okay, which means market could drop about 1.5% or increase about 1.5%. So this is like a 50-50 chance here, okay? So we're going to see again how is the market is going to react, but all in all, after the rate cut, most likely market will eventually down by the look at it, right? All the sentiment is looking forward for a market sell-off. So you have to be prepared for all this. Again, so zero cut shock. Again, while no analyst actively call for a hold, possibly cannot be dismissed, right? All right, so should Powell refuse to cut, sentiment could unravel quickly. Okay, so yeah, which is not really good. Okay, so market will definitely sell off even more if there is no rate cut. If the interest rate were to maintain again later on, most likely the market will have a major sell-off. Again, another downfall again. So we do not want to see that. But looking forward, maybe at least 0.25%, then at least the market can able to digest and doesn't really pull back that much compared to a 0.5 or no rate cut at all. So now we can see the market is playing according to a 0.25. Okay, market did not really price in that much yet, but you can see now it is slowly going down. Okay, market is correcting before the FOMC announcement. Again, so yeah, we're going to look into it later on. So later will be the FOMC, which is around 2 a.m. our time, roughly about less than 4 hours from now. Then moving on next, we're going to see here coming in for ETH. So what's happening now with Ethereum? Okay, as you know that Ethereum tends to outperform against Bitcoin heading to Q4. Okay, so should we see a rejection, okay, around 4.7K? And then to hit base around 4.4, 4.6, okay? Or else should we go below 4K? That's the thing, after the FOMC. All right, so yeah, if you look here, perpetual demand slips. That means less traders, okay? People are taking a step back away from trading. Okay, so if you can look here, the perpetual contracts have been losing steam, right? If we look here, Ethereum perpetual versus spot volume. Okay, so we can see the spot volume, which is the green color, okay, green color graph, okay, versus the orange. So you can see orange is not even here, not even close. Mostly are on spot. Okay, so yeah, you can see where are the momentum is shifting. It's more towards the buying and holding rather than trading, right? So it's not panic selling, more like traders taking a step back, waiting to see where the market hits. Okay, so yeah, indecisive moment right now for FOMC. So we're going to see later on, okay, what Jerome Powell is going to say, whether his tone will be hawkish or dovish. So preferably to be dovish so that the market can able to continue to where it left off and continue to rally. So we get the rate cut and a dovish tone from Jerome Powell should be good. Okay, so yeah, let's wait and see. Okay, so overall we can see this is normal. Okay, spot market shows heavy selling pressure. Okay, so I think most of them are actually playing on spot right now, buying low, selling high. Okay, because I think the 4.8K is the major resistance at the moment. That is the final boss resistance. Should we break that at 4.8 closing, then I think we will be blue skies ahead for Ethereum. Okay, I think most likely will be after September. Okay, all right. So yeah, all in all, stay on spot rather than perpetual. Okay, you don't want to get yourself wrecked again during this time. So yeah, this is the best strategy. Then moving on next. Okay, talking about layer 2, yeah, especially coming in from Coinbase. So Coinbase, as you know, that they are most likely launching their token. So people like Aspire and then Young, I think you have been doing a lot of transaction on Base. So maybe you might want to touch up on your on-chain transaction. So I think most likely they're going to Airdrop also. And they mentioned they are going to explore right? So they're going to explore on the possibility of issuing up their token, which means consider it as airdrop. Because as you know that Coinbase, they are a regulated company, crypto exchange company in the US, and they already have their own token, also known as coin, right? A public listed trading coin in New York Stock Exchange. So coming back to here, is it really reasonable for them to create another token, again, for base network, which is the layer 2? Again, so a lot of people may be asking, is it really necessary, right? So they are focusing more on what here? Decentralization. Not just only about scaling solution, cheap gas fees, but focusing more on decentralization. That is the keyword here that we are looking at. So if you have if you have used base network before, you can see how smooth, again, in terms of the transaction. And you can see a lot of dApps as well that is onboarding, and of course, especially all those dApps like Airdrop. Okay, that's where you can be able to swap, provide liquidity. Again, then there are a lot of meme coins as well on base. As you can see, the demand and of course, total value lock also beginning to increase. So yeah, I think overall this is very good news. We can see this is the co-founder of Base Network, okay, leading by 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝘀𝘀. Okay, so he's the main guy here. So he have announced the exploration of Base token during this Basecamp summer. Again, it's more of the Basecamp, it's more like a crypto event. Okay, and of course you can see right now the traffic is right now has been surging quite high. I think a lot of users right now are transacting on Base. So this is a thing that you really want to stay focused. Okay, continue to transact on Base, because this could be another drop, something similar like optimism and arbitrum, which is for the layer 2. Okay, so yeah, I think overall we can see there are a lot of layer 2s right now, a lot of competitor. But I believe most likely Base will be the leading indicator. Will be another star shining compared to optimism and arbitrum. So you can see the demand is there. And then of course we look at Base as well. They are also issuing their own stable coin, right? USDC. Okay, USDC, right? USD Coinbase type of stable coin. So they're going more than just a stable coin, right? They have their own DEX, okay? Airdrop, there are so many applications being onboarded on their ecosystem. So yeah, my suggestion is to continue to transact, okay, on layer 2 for Base, and then you can swap, you can bridge, okay, you can use like jumper, relay, okay, and then do your swap activity, bridging, okay. So later on we will move into that. Then moving on next, talking about the on-chain analysis, okay. All right, so we can see what's happening right now with the global M2 money supply. Okay, so what happens after that during the Q4, towards end of the year? What usually happens is that the global M2 money supply tends to decouple away from BTC at the end of each bull run. Why? What's the reason here we are looking at? Right? Liquidity is flowing into alts instead of BTC. Right? Money rotation. Right? We talk about Bitcoin. A lot of investors know, especially those OG big timers, they know that the rotation tends to shift from BTC to Ethereum and then slowly moving to the small caps. Okay, so this is what's happening. Once the money rotation move from BTC to smaller alts, that's where it will start to decouple the global money M2 supply. So when global M2 is going up and that money is not going to Bitcoin, okay, it is going somewhere. All right, so where is it somewhere? Altcoins. So this was a realization I just had, and it's currently my best theory as to where the global M2 is going, right? So yeah, what we can see right now is here. Okay, this is the global M2 money supply. Okay, offset by 80 days. So this is the M2 supply already up here, 260,000. So Bitcoin is somewhere around here. Okay, so yeah, I think slowly onwards, it will slowly decouple. Okay, it will move into Ethereum and the smaller cap coins. Again, so this is beginning to happen already. Okay, all right, and then before that, I'm going to look into the CME. The CME here, you can see Federal Reserve Watch Tool is happening somewhere around 3 hours and 45 minutes. Okay, you look at the interest rate cut. So we can see here, what are the possibilities of a rate cut here? 94% chance that they will reduce 0.25%. Okay, so current rate is around how much here? 4.25 to 4.50. So you're bringing it down to somewhere around 4 to 4.25. So 0.25% is highly likely rather than 0.5. which is only 6% chance. Okay, so 6% chance only for a 0.5 basis cut. So that's the thing. Okay, that's the thing that you really need to take note later on. In around 2 a.m. Okay, they're going to announce the rate cut. Okay, and then moving on next. Okay, so what do we see here? Talking about trading during the FOMC, probably before the FOMC. So I think a lot of people here tend to make kind of mistakes. Okay, so they trade on leverage. Okay, so with this event, most people have zero edge compared to others. Okay, why is that so? Okay, so if you look at all those kind of scenarios, okay, what do you see normally? Number one, we look at the rally. Okay, the movement, the market movement, okay, is usually probably maybe heading towards the upside, okay, for the FOMC. Then we look at the volatility as well, second. Okay, so volatility tend to be huge, okay, tend to fluctuate heavily, right, even before it starts. Okay, and then during the moment Jerome Powell starts to make his speech, that's where you will see that kind of movement. Then rally for an hour, 1 hour at least, after euphoric. Yeah, so that's the thing, usually always happen. So it's either rally all the way after announcement and then dump. Okay, or if not, dump first, okay, after announcement, dump, and then slowly consolidate and then recover back up again. That is usually the case. So what happened? Nuke again until hope is gone. People keep positions for loss. Yeah, that is all leverage. And then what happens next? Bitcoin catches up with gold. Rallies while everyone's sideline. Okay. And then number 6 here, it against Bitcoin chart tends to bleed. Okay, so it tends to not perform against Bitcoin. And then what happened? You see, Bitcoin dominance starts to go up. People pip on their alts. Okay, so alts will not perform during that time. Okay, so Bitcoin creating what? Higher lows compared to the higher high. Bitcoin dominance go up. Okay, so yeah, I think that's the thing here. You have to really pay attention. Okay, a lot of distraction during the FOMC. So the market will try to deceive you or try to shake out. Okay, the keyword here is shake out, especially those who like to play leverage. There's this thing. So it's better to buy spot and chill. Okay, buy spot and chill and then DCA. Okay, so zoom out, move slow, and don't try to time the cycle. Rather focus on structure instead of when things should happen, right? Which is very true. So you need to have a game plan, you need to have a strategy. Okay, like if you have a budget of $1,000 for one coin, make sure you DCA, right? Probably once a week. Okay, so you DCA, you divide your $1,000, okay, to 4 weeks. So 1 week maybe, well, $200, okay, maybe 200 or 150. Then the next following week similar until you complete this whole month or DCA. So that's how you should strategize. That's an example. Okay, so yeah, staying bullish on altcoins and still expecting them to have more fuel for a party date cycle. Yeah, so always have some dry powder. Okay, so later on after FOMC might want to look into some buy opportunities if the market were to go down. Okay, so that's where you really want to find those altcoin gems, because I think we have left about how many more days to end the month of September, roughly about less than 2 weeks from now. Okay, we're already mid-September, very fast. I think this is the final opportunity to buy. After that, October onwards, most likely it might take off. Okay, so moving on next with Airdrop. So we can see here. So ANOMA registration now is live. So for those of you who've been doing this drop, you can start doing, and you can start to register. So register.anoma.foundation. Okay, season 1. For those of you who are eligible, Kaito, Discord roles, and then testnet. Those of you who are doing testnet, then probably you might want to claim. Okay, so this is ANOMA. This is the site. So you might want to check. Okay, paste your address. Okay, ANOMA Shrimpers, I think this is the NFT. Kaito stickers. Okay, so this is the address. Then next, you're going to see here coming in from Lombard Finance. Okay, so TGE is somewhere around 18, which is tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow. The checker is yesterday, right? 16 September. So if you want to check, check. Okay, if you think that you are doing this, then you can check for Lombard. Okay, then next we're going to see here coming in from OG Labs. So I'm not sure how many of you guys doing OG Labs. I think I also informed Aspil and then Young also to do. So I'm not sure whether you guys are still actively doing that. If you have been doing, since a few months ago, then you might want to check. So this is the site here. So you can start checking your wallet if you have qualified for this airdrop. So OG Labs, they have a funding of 325 million by VC. Okay, so consider quite a big deal because earlier I believe they have only about 30 million funding, and then until now they have added, the VCs have topped up their investment. So probably this could be another huge layer one. Okay, probably maybe similar to Somnia. Yeah, so Somnia, I think they do have about 270 million funding. This is about 325. So probably this one might cook. Okay, compared to other drops, right, that have ditched the community, like Chem Network, Humanity. Okay, so hopefully this one can able to deliver because until now we do not know what is the allocation for OG Labs. Okay, so another thing here is that we have to submit the KYC. Okay, submit KYC. Okay, for those of you who have qualified for this drop, you might want to submit and make sure do it before 21st of September. So you have roughly about how many more days here? Okay, so you got today, so roughly about 4 days from now. Okay, or latest by Sunday, this Sunday. Now, if you have not qualified, if you think that you've been doing actively, submit this form. Okay, so maybe Young, if you have not qualified, then you might want to submit the form. Okay, appeal form. Okay, so form will close exactly 24 hours before the claim closes. So which is September 20th. So deadline is this Saturday, right? Okay, this Saturday. So you better start doing. Or if you think that you should qualify, then you better submit the form. Okay, so yeah, and then SPL, not sure whether you have got this, but I think I informed you to also do this drop. So maybe you can check. Okay, so yeah, and then if you have qualified, make sure to do the KYC for this. I think quite a number of people did not get this drop. Okay, because they are rewarding for who now? Who is qualified? OG Labs Discord roles. Okay, if you have gotten the Discord role, and then Kaito, Gravity NFT holders, and then of course like 𝗀𝗧𝗺𝗀. Okay, for those of you guys who will be doing, then I believe you should qualify. Okay, so that is about OG Labs. Okay, and then speaking about Coinbase or Base Layer 2. Okay, so what you can do now to increase your traction for Layer 2 like Base, maybe you need to spend some, like a domain name, base.org/name. Okay, so you can able to go here and key in whatever name that you want, and you can just purchase. Okay, you can just purchase. Okay, so yeah, you can just enter. Okay, right, like this, testing 1 2 3 or registered. Okay, that. So if it's available, what you do, you can just click here, and then you can connect your wallet, and you just need to pay for 1 year. So 2 years will be 90 cents. So 1 year is about 45 cents only. Okay, so get your base domain name. Okay, right, especially like Young, like SPL been actively doing on base, so you might want to get the traction done. Very, very important, base. And then we have on-chain stats as well. You might want to check your score. Okay, so checking your score here, how much of activity you have done on base. And then you can either that you can also go to Venture. Venture check base here. Okay, so yeah, I think you can go here. Venture.com. Yeah, Venture.com, then you select base. Yeah, you select base already. Okay. And then you can check how much of activity you have been doing since when you started. Okay, how much traction you have done for base. And then we have Discord, we have Guild. Okay, all this. Okay, you have to get it done if you really want to have a better traction or consider yourself active. Okay, so yeah, let's send this. Okay, so yeah, consent, Guild. Okay. All right, so these are the things that you can able to do for base network. Okay, so I've been doing swap bridge at least once a week. So if you have limited time, you can always do once a week for this type of layer 2. Then moving on next with coin market cap. So where are we now? Okay, 4.02 trillion. Bitcoin is somewhere around 115.8. Ethereum, 4.4, 4.5. Okay, so looking quite steady there as of now. Okay, look at Solana, 235. Okay, and then we have BNB right now hitting new all-time highs, $960. It looks like it's going to hit higher. Look at Hyperliquid as well, 55. Okay, so many of the tokens are starting to hit new all-time highs. Then we have MYX Finance, like Airdrop, you can see. All these are hitting higher. Why? Because of base network. I think a lot of people are using the base network now, especially the DEX. Okay, and then if you look at the memes on base also, I think slowly will hit higher as well. Okay, so all those DEX are here to touch on for base network. Okay, moving on next bit, technical side. So technical side, what do we see on dominance? Okay, monthly. So monthly, price below the middle band. So we know that the trend is changing direction from buy to sell. Okay, so yeah, I think most likely there could be a chance of a reversal back up again, probably to test back here, 60.35 or probably around here. So it's 2.47 for a entry sell. And then on weekly, okay, we have a momentum sell, consolidation. Okay, so we need to see whether can he able to retest at this level, 58.68. Okay, if it continues to go up higher, this will be next year, this level, 60.34. Okay, so probably dominance might go up first for the real short term. Then we look on next with daily. Price do up, momentum sell, go back, start hovering at the sell zone. So probably maybe dominance might go down again. H4 also will be squeezed. So daily there could be a sell to buy situation. Okay, so dominance maybe might go back here to test around 57.63. So that is the dominance setup there. So price consolidation most likely to maybe to break towards the upside. Or should we see a breakdown for dominance? Then maybe it might take us somewhere around here. So this one will be next year, around to retest 55.33. That will be the major support now for this level here on the weekly time frame. Okay, that was last year's support at 2nd December. Okay, then ETH against BTC. You can see here what's happening. Price maintained above the middle band. Change of direction from sell to buy. Okay, we already got a confirmation from sell to buy. So now it will create another pullback again. So this pullback, you have to be very cautious whether can it able to maintain here. 0.03816. So that will be the next one, or else, of course, we test back here again, 0.02554. Look at weekly. You can see weekly is doing what? High momentum, consolidation, break. Momentum, pullback, momentum again. So consolidation again. So you can see now the setup is waiting for another rally again, or should we see another pullback? So this pullback might give you somewhere around here, 0.03239. Okay, for weekly time frame. So there could be another pullback there. Okay, for Ethereum against Bitcoin. Then what you can see here, pump, dump, consolidation, pump again. Okay, so now it's already at the support back. Should we see this level to maintain? Then maybe there could be a chance again to break towards the upside. Okay, 0.04068. So or else continue towards the downside. This level, 0.03607 for Ethereum against Bitcoin. Okay, so there could be a chance of hitting down first. Okay, so it might go down against BTC. Okay, due to the FOMC announcement. So yeah, you have to prepare all this. So moving on next with BTC. What is BTC doing now? Okay, so if you can look here on monthly time frame. Okay, monthly. Okay, so this is the top. Okay, so if you have any question, feel free to put in the chat box. I'll answer it later on. So yeah, you can see here on Monday, this is the final boss resistance that needs to maintain and break above here to confirm this level of support. Then, of course, look at the support here again. This will be the next one here at 102.4. So we look at weekly now. Okay, lower high compared to the previous high. See here? This high compared to the current high. So you can see already, it needs to really break past this level here to confirm above this level, 119.5 for the weekly time frame, or else if you get rejected again, okay, we're going to see another pullback and then continue maybe to test back here. Okay, 101K. So that's the thing that you have to be very careful on the weekly time frame. Now weekly is at the sell zone. Look at daily. Okay, so daily is doing what? Momentum. Okay, you can see consolidation. So probably there could be a short-term pullback to create higher low before we hit higher again. So the higher low, what to expect? This level here, higher lows, 114.2, or probably on the middle band here, 112.4. Okay, H4. Now you can see already what's happening. Break below the middle band. So the trend is down, right? It's heading down, pricing in again before the FOMC. So all these you have to take note. This support also, 114.9. Okay, so you have to be very cautious now, especially heading towards FOMC. A lot of volatility that's happening right now. So if we look on next with what else? ETH. Okay, ETH. Okay, so we look at ETH now on monthly time frame. Okay, so monthly time frame is doing what now? Final boss resistance here, 4635. Then we're going to see here, this level also could be a support 3.7. Look at weekly momentum, pullback, momentum, consolidation. Okay, so your short term maybe around here will be the support at 4K. See on the cards here for support. Okay, so for now on weekly, what you can see is consolidating sideways. Now it's stagnant at the sell zone here, so you need to be very careful. Okay, and it continues to breach above, then 4789. It needs to maintain this level of support. Look at daily now. Daily is doing what? Extreme sell. Even though pump, pull back for the re-entry. So should we see this middle band to maintain? So around here at 4420. If not, then this critical support, okay, or the middle band or 4268 will be next. Okay, for ETH. Right, so what are the outs? Theta, let's see. See this USD Theta. KTA, is it or what? This one. It's only on Blowfin. Theta. So a launch man, this one. 1st May. Okay, so 1st May, and then what else is next year? This one, this level here. 98 cents. I think this is the only resistance left on the monthly. Support will be here. 73 cents. Look at weekly. Okay, so weekly is doing what? Stagnant, sideways. Okay, so yeah, I think overall we can see this one you have to be watching here for 88 cents for spot, 88 and then 73. Okay, so these are the level, and then of course if it continues higher, there will be entry sell is here, 1.19. Okay, that will be the sell zone here. You have to take note. Look at daily. Okay, price break below the middle band. You have changed from buy to sell. So now it's having another pullback again, which most likely to retest back here or a sell again here at 1.04. So should we see 1.04 and then maybe come down to maintain above middle band? Should be good at 96 cents. Okay, so let's see. Because these are all the zones here. You're at 96 and then you're 73 cents. Okay, for a pullback for Theta here. Okay, so that is the setup here on H4. Momentum sell pullback is still at the sell zone and is still below the middle band. So your 97, 98, okay, it needs to break above that to maintain a support. So that is for Theta for you. So these are all the zones that you can able to watch. 88 cents, 73 cents. Okay, so that is Theta. And then of course we have others as well. I'm gonna look into this D-pin called Ether. Sure how is it doing now. Ether. Nice, that's 6 cents. That's the T. Ether. On KuCoin. So it launched this year, June. Okay, so launched this year, June. And this level here, support 0.02860. Okay, and then what else? What other resistance to watch here? Current resistance. Okay, 0.06293. Final boss will be here, 0.075. Look at weekly. Oh, weekly you can see dump. You can see a double bottom here, this level here. So yeah, whenever you see this W pattern forming, be a high chance of a break towards the upside. So now it's retesting at this resistance. So you got this level here, 0.06266 versus 0.07586. Okay, so it might come back down for a retest, probably around here, 0.05093. Okay, or else this level here as well on the support. Okay, 0.04484. Okay, so that's the one here for A tier. The last one you're going to see here, you got a lot. Okay, so Airdrop, like this. So Airdrop, I think it also rallied. Wow, you can look at the weekly time frame on Airdrop. W pattern form, double bottom. Very nice setup here. I think this one could really set up for massive rally. This is your final box resistance at 1.51. Okay, so it's looking very, very bullish here on this monthly setup. Momentum, pullback, higher highs, higher lows. So now it needs to break above this level here. It's the final one here, 1.43. After that, it will continue to challenge all these levels here, 2.02. So Airdrop, any chance of a pullback, maybe around here on the middle band at 91 cents. On the daily, you can see price starting to reject and creating an extreme sell. So this could give you another chance again to accumulate for Airdrop, and maybe at 1.07. Will be the base level of support for another chance to buy back, or if not, you might see at 91 cents or even below $1. So below $1 will be a huge steal for Airdrop. Okay, so now it's sideways. So sideways, which means accumulation. Or probably could be another one more dump after FOMC, and that's where your golden opportunity is to accumulate.